Good morning, everyone. And today's thought of the day is with a new day comes new strength and new idea. It is our willpower and our interest that we bring every day to complete our work. Sledgehammer approach. On PFI ban, the Home Minister's decision to ban the Popular Front of India and its affiliates is a rush. So, what is the meaning of affiliate? It means to connect an organization with a larger one. Yeah, scroll down. There will be little reason for disquiet. There will be little reason for disquiet at the Popular Front of India being termed a radical Islamist organization that propagates a politics of exclusion and communalism, even it professes adherence to constitutional values and has, according to its claims, taken part in social and legal activities benefiting Muslims across India. So, the Popular Front of India termed as radical Islamists. So, what is the meaning of radical? It means violent, and the people, those are violent and they want sudden change. So, it is a group of radical Islamist organization that propagates a politics of exclusivism. It means the action or policy of excluding a person or a group from a certain place. And communalism, it means that it is an ideology stating the division between the states on the basis of its ethnicity, caste, religion, region, etc. So, even if it professes adherence to constitutional values and has, according it claims, it taken part in social and legal activities benefiting Muslim across India. So it is only benefiting Muslims, nor and the other religion. It isn't. It is isn't believe. So it's particularly it's promoting a particular religion. Yeah, scroll a bit. That is because of actions of PFI cadre in Kerala and coastal Karnataka in particular, resulting in religious and political violence and vigilantism in the name of religious sentiments being heard. So the PFI cadre in Kerala and coastal Karnataka, they are resulting in political violence, and vigilantism means law enforcement taken with any legal authority. Yeah, scroll down. While the PFI has grown as an organization since its formation in 2006, largely due to his assertive actions in legal and social fronts that have coincided with the rise of Hindutva forces to political hegemony in India. So, PFI has grown as an organization since 2006 due to assertive actions. Assertive actions means way of thinking and behaving that allows a person to stand up for his or her rights, also the rights of others. So, assertive actions in the legal and social fronts have coincided, means at the same time it came together with the rise of Hindutva forces to political hegemony. So, what is the meaning of hegemony? It means supporting of both the communities. It perceived political and electoral arm and Social Democratic Party of India has received little support, with minority voters preferring to back secular parties or moderate community forces. So it has perceived means realized something, or they have concluded that the political and electoral arm, the Social Democratic Party of India, they have received little support, and the minority voters preferred secular parties or moderate communitarianism. So it means it is a philosophy that emphasized the community, the relation between the individual and the community. Communitarianism force is all about that, the relation between the particular community, individual, and the community. The PFI is an Islamic variant of communal politics and the minor image of the majoritarian current gripping several parts of India. So it is an Islamic variant which communal politics and the minor image of majoritarian gripping. Gripping means it is holding the interest of several parts of India. And it goes without saying that its activists who have been charged with violence, vigilantism, and unlawful act must be subject to legal scrutiny and brought to justice. So, scrutiny means inspection or inquiring something. And it goes without saying, and it doesn't give any information about the activists who have been already charged with violence, vigilantism, and unlawful acts that is subjected to legal scrutiny and brought back to justice. But the outright ban on the PFI and its affiliated organization, means its subordinate organization, bearing the SDPI, which claims to be independent of it. So it is also a kind of a group, but it claims that it is independent by the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA. It raises the question whether a sledgehammer approach is a correct course. So sledgehammer means law that deals with an infringement or illegality. Yeah, next paragraph. The MHA notification released on September 27 declared the PFI and its affiliates as an unlawful association that was pursuing a secret agenda to radicalize a particular section of society towards undermining democracy. So on 27 September, it declared PFI that was undermining democracy, and it was only promoting a particular section of society, and it violated all the rules and the regulation of democracy. And the ban for 5 years followed a series of raids and arrests. The omnibus approach towards banning the PFI and effecting indiscriminate arrests instead of a clear case-to-case judicial process of bringing guilty activists and leaders to book could only end up strengthening the sense of disquiet. So it means that it only approaches and the approach towards banning the PFI and effecting indiscriminate. Indiscriminate means it's an action that it's a judgment, we can say, that is taken without any sensible or any rational thoughts. So it is taken just arbitrarily, and it doesn't has any sense. So the indiscriminate actions, arrest instead of a clear case to case judicial process of bringing guilty. So there were no proper rational judicial process of bringing the guilty activist and leader to book, and could only end up strengthening the sense of disquiet at the treatment of minorities in the country, and could also further radicalization among disaffected sections. So if this just goes on, then it will later end up the strengthening of radicalization and would also disaffected sections. De-radicalization is not just a task left to law enforcement agency. It should be the consequence of reorienting governance to live up to the secular values propounded by the Constitution. So de-radicalization means making someone become less radical in their policies and religious beliefs. So it is just the opposite of radicalization, and it should be the consequence of reorienting governance to live up the secular values propounded by the Constitution. So the meaning of reorienting means the change of forces or direction. The change in the force has brought secular values, something that has taken by beating in recent years. Meanwhile, the organization has responded to the ban by announcing that it stands disbanded for the following notification. So after this, the organization responded by announcing banning of PFI and disbanded the following notification. But the ban must be utilized as a means to target, must not be utilized as a means to target Muslims, especially political dissidents and democratic activists who have engaged in legitimate protest against discriminatory pieces of legislation such as citizenship. So this ban of PFI must not be utilized as a means to target Muslims. It shouldn't target the Muslims, especially political dissidents. It means the person who strongly disagree and criticize his or her government. So it isn't like that it will target everyone, but who have engaged in the legitimate process against discriminatory pieces of legislation. So it shouldn't target any particular section. Yeah. Now, what is the tone of the editorial? So anybody who would like to say?
Yeah,
You're not audible.
analytical, yeah, suggestive.
Yeah.
Most of all, I thought it was suggestive.
It is also informative. So thank you all for participating, and please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. We'll be coming up with new sessions, and we have few questions. Question number 1: the government has approved the electronics manufacturing cluster EMC in which city? Anybody who would like to answer? Yes, Pune. Question number 2: which cities have joined The UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities. Option number A, Warangal, Thrissur and Nilambar.
I think that would be C.
No, it's A. A option is right. Okay, we can check the cross.
Yeah, we can
Till
cross check. But I think it is option A. So which country is the host of World Health Summit for Pride of Homeopathy? UAE. Google has allowed which social media app onto the Google Play Store after it was removed in 2021? Option C, Parla. Which Indian state recently allowed the sale of locally made wine? It is option B, Mizoram. Jigyasa 2.0 program, which was seen in the news recently, is associated with which field? Option B, science and technology. So these are the answer key. We can cross check.
yeah, you can conclude it, Candy
Yeah,
now.
thank you all the participants for joining us. We'll be conducting editorial session as well as we'll be coming up with new sessions, and we want active participation of everyone. And thank you everyone. So stay
Okay,
tuned.
thank you. It was nice
Welcome.
session.
Welcome.